talking to the officials about after was it on the free kick that was awarded there?
I have to be somewhat mindful probably of what I say, but I think to a certain degree I feel I can just say that I think the game has come a long way here in the USL. I mean, obviously I spent a long career playing in the USL, and the game has come a long way since then. I think the players have come a long way. I think just the teams and individually, collectively, it's all gotten better, and I just don't think that standard is carried over to all parts, of all the moving parts that take place in the field. And, it's unfortunate. My personal perspective, and as a player, I guess I could just speak, I always felt that I was coming in working hard every day to make a living and provide for my family, right? And I think that's what our guys do. That's what we do as coaches. And then to have weekend warriors kind of come in and have such a huge influence, I will say that definitely sometimes it's frustrating to think that there's such an influence that can happen. Now, it doesn't take away from the fact that, look, as a team, we've got to continue to find ways to close games out, right? That's probably 4 or 5 games now this season we've conceded in the last 5 minutes of the match or extra time, right? So it doesn't negate our responsibility by any means. However, I think the game is difficult enough as it is when you're playing against another team, right? And you're battling against other coaches, and you're working all week with strategies and things like that. To have other influences play a factor in the game, the way that they do, and I think when both teams walk away and neither group is satisfied, I think that probably speaks more volumes than anything, as opposed to just one group saying, "Hey, we feel like we got robbed." So it's probably get me in trouble, but I'll say that.
Can you allude to exactly what you're referring to in terms of frustration?
No, I mean, I think I'll just leave it at that. I mean, again, I think players, I think FIFA on a world stage has really cracked down a lot, I think, a number of years ago about just embellishment from players and things like that. It was something that was really taking precedence at. And I think, again, like I said, I just think the players in the USL have come a long way. And the level has gotten much higher that I think you see a lot of nuances and gamesmanship within the game that probably wasn't there, again, when I first started out. I mean, I don't know how to dive. I mean, it's something, I couldn't even try to do it if I wanted to. But again, I think that the players are a little more savvy. I think the players are getting better. I think there's a steep curve there that hasn't maybe been matched in all areas.
Josh, in the past, Coach Steffens has talked about when you're protecting a lead, too much of a tendency to sit back on it, just sort of bunker down. It didn't seem like that was the case today. I mean, you had a couple chances going forward. Drew had a great chance, created a great chance late. Amara controls that ball going forward. You seem to keep going for it, but it still didn't work out in the end. But were you at least happy to see the team, continue to attack through the final 15 minutes?
Yeah, I think that my comment about, we still have our part to do. I think those are things, and we mentioned it at halftime. We talked even about before the game, is that we came out well. When we play well and you have good stretches, you got to have a little bit of a killer instinct to make sure that you're not flippant with opportunities, that you're really saying, all right, we're going to be very surgeon, a lot of precision, and say, all right, if we're going to get those chances late, we're going to execute and we're going to make teams pay. That's where the onus falls on us as coaches, as players, to make sure that we're ready to capitalize on opportunities when they arise. And again, we just haven't closed out a full 90 minutes, I would say, being that precise when it counts enough.
What do you think the players did having been the absence of Rob offensively?
I think we played great. Again, this is one of those. I've stood here many times and said sometimes feel like wins, sometimes feel like losses. This one feels like a loss because I think without question we deserved the 3 points tonight. The guys, everybody has stepped up. Obviously, we've had to do it by committee, right? It was Danny Earls the game before that. It was Kevin Kerr the game before that, right? So, these are our staples in our lineup that we've had to, work around, and guys have risen to the occasion. I think we've played great. And so, again, to have a ball that's mishit, that takes a little bit of a skip, Meg's one of our defenders and kind of bounces into the goal. It stings a lot. And I think everyone's frustrated, I think would be the best way to put it, especially as these games count. And I think, though, credit to our guys is that I tell them, it's just exciting to be at this point in the season to have something to play for. right? I mean, if we weren't in the playoff hunt and we were, just at the bottom of the table, then these games you kind of say, hey, you know what? Oh well, we're looking forward to next season. But right now, every point matters, every game matters for us, and that's the exciting part is that we have something to play for. And I think that's the fans in Pittsburgh have really rallied around that. You look at our home support coming down the stretches that they know that we're in the thick of it. They know that we're in the hunt, and I think again that's what stings most about a game like today.
Down the stretch now, 3 games to go. We're seeing tightly contested matches. You guys seem to be prepared defensively a lot better now than mid-season.
Yeah, definitely. We've known that's been an issue. I think going forward to next game, we have a full selection. How about that, of guys to go from, right? I mean, there's not. I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to hold us back right now as far as when we're looking to next weekend in our lineup. And the great thing is 3 games to go. It's still in our hands. I still feel very confident we go and win the next 3. We're in. And so it's still in our court. We're not relying on other people right now. We just made it a little more difficult. But I think anything worth having is hard. So it's not easy.
How did Kelly come to this sub early on? Did that change what they were doing offensively? It seemed like they were getting more chances and maybe being more dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dane Kelly's he's a great player. He's been a great kind of their go-to guy for the last 3 years now. But Cordova is a guy who's a little different. I mean, he's definitely a big, strong guy, big left foot. I mean, he's definitely had his seasons as well of late. But Dane definitely has something you can't teach pace like that. I mean, he's obviously a great player. So, throughout the week we're preparing for Dane to be in there anyway. We know that Cordova is a handful as well. But I think in our minds we were planning on Kelly anyway. So when he comes in, it wasn't any big surprise. We knew what he brought.
Why he would get the start?
No, I asked him if he was on vacation here in Pittsburgh, and he said no. He went to work a little earlier today than he probably expected. But I imagine just like every team coming down the stretch, a lot of minutes on guys, and so you're just trying to monitor and limit wear and tear. So. Thanks, guys.
Matt, maybe you can take us through the free kick. I don't know if you have any communication with Kevin before that?
Yeah, actually, we've talked about it a couple times. He's always going and standing basically right in the middle of the goal wherever he's going to make a run. And so he'll stand there about 10 seconds before the free kick. And that's a pretty good indicator of where he's going to end up. And he's usually fantastic with his head. So if I can get anywhere in the vicinity, he's usually going to get his head on it.
What you see on their equalizer?
Yeah, I think the ball got played back out. Someone, I think, crossed it across. They're just trying to get it back across the goal. I think it megged someone, took 1 or 2 deflections, and crept in the back post. I know it took a couple deflections, so yeah, just pretty frustrating.
How have you seen this team rebound? You've had a few like that this year where it's maybe a minute away or maybe seconds away, but how have you seen the team rebound from that in the following games this year?
Yeah, it's obviously very frustrating. I mean, it's something that, people are going to lose some sleep over tonight, but, we've got a couple games left and we have everything to play for. So just like in the past, take one game at a time, focus on the next game. You got to have a short memory when it comes to these games. So, I'm confident that we'll rebound just fine.
How did you feel playing more in an offensive role again tonight and being able to kind of catalyze the attack?
Yeah, I liked it. I was only up there for about 20 or 30 minutes until Benny got something wrong with his calf. But yeah, I was enjoying it. Whipped a couple crosses in, but again, I don't mind playing right back as long as I have the freedom to go forward and get crosses in. So, but it was nice the short time that I was up there.
Around the league tonight, it seems like there were a lot of tight games, a lot of draws going on, and almost a playoff atmosphere. So, because you really didn't lose any ground, just shortens the time left that you have. I mean, do you really feel like, well, it's a wasted opportunity? It's not really any harder at this point?
Yeah, it's frustrating. When you see the results from around the league, I saw Charlotte tied, New York's down to Louisville. They all went in our favor, so it is lost points. It's a lost chance to go up again, but on the other hand, it doesn't make our result as bad because we're kind of in the same place. I don't think anyone jumped anyone, so it kind of stayed the same.
With Rob being out coming into the game, did you guys as players collectively, was there something said about, okay, we all need to step up and kind of fill that void there?
Yeah, obviously Rob's having a great season, so we've benefited massively from all the goals, but we talked as a team before the game. Someone had to step up and take his spot. Someone's got to score the goal today because he's obviously not in. So it's a massive position to fill because Rob is in such good form. But we're all quality players that have the ability to go out and score a goal. So we were confident that we'd get at least one.
Looking ahead to next week, Wilmington always seems like a tough place for you guys. A lot on the line. What do you think about that game?
Yeah, like you said, it's tough going down there. It's a long trip. And it's just, I don't think I've ever won there before. Been here 3 years, so again, we have everything to play for. I'm sure the guys will get up for it, but yeah, every game is going to be a battle. Good. All right, thanks, guys.